Well guys, welcome back to the channel, and as we said in Sunday's vlog where we were giving a little bit of an insight into 2024, our highlights and lowlights, I'll link that up there in case you haven't seen it. We also wanted to put a separate...
I was actually just looking for it. Right, sorry.
You know what? I'm actually going to cut this right now and I'm going to include how unprofessional we really are, even when we're trying to do just a very simple intro. This has now taken us about 10 minutes. So look at some of these failed attempts. Well guys, good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, I like that little intro. And if you watched Sunday's video, you would have seen... Is she laughing at me? Well guys, g'day and not saying g'day.
We're now in Australia.
To give you a little bit of a summary of nothing. Well guys, welcome back to the channel, and as we said and then we'll swing back to real time and I'm still rambling. Well guys, welcome back to the channel. What's going on my voice? So obviously as we've started to make plans for 2025, a lot of that has been based upon what we feel like we got, not necessarily wrong last year, but what really didn't bring us, you know,
As much joy.
And I think that was too many castles.
You can never have too many castles. For you, it was too many castles, because whilst I enjoy that, that's not your thing, is it?
And we definitely got into holiday vibe a little bit too much in Greece as well. Greece was beautiful, and we do not regret spending 3 months in Greece. It was stunning. But I'd say those last probably 6 weeks or so, it was a bit too much holiday vibe going on and not enough hiking and exercise and all of that, especially after what we had done in Norway. But that then leads us on to shaping our plans for 2025. So first up, extended stay here in the UK. Now we knew we were going to be back in the UK end of October because we had to go to a friend's wedding, which was fantastic to do. We then had a few issues to get sorted with the van. We had a few issues to get sorted with
Me.
the wife.
Which is still ongoing, which is why we're still here.
Still ongoing. We've then come over to Cambridge. We're probably going to be here for the next couple of weeks. And then we're hoping to get a couple of weeks in Scotland. So rather than disappearing south to the warm weather, we're going north.
The wet and cold weather.
Fun and games that Scotland has to offer. Actually, before that, we also have to go back down to the gas service folks in Bournemouth, where we think we have another bit of a hefty bill upcoming. But we'll probably talk about that at some point in the next month or so. I'll probably do a little bit of an updated van tour, and I'll talk about all the things that have gone wrong with the van.
It's been an expensive year, probably our most expensive year, I'd say,
absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
so we're going to spend a couple of weeks in Scotland, and then we're going back to Ireland. And this one is because this one needs other bits and pieces sorted. Nothing serious. Nothing serious.
Just, well, one is I'm getting a crown redone, and unfortunately the dentist is so busy, I'm having to wait for my initial appointment. Yeah. And also still having some investigations going on. Hopefully it's something that's not serious, but they just want to make sure. So
we did toy with the idea of doing our usual and heading down for a couple of months to Spain and Portugal, and then coming back end of April, beginning of May to the UK and seeing friends and family. But we thought, look, while we're here, we'll just see it out. So it looks like we're going to be in the UK until early April. Now, when we're back in Ireland in a month's time or so, we're actually going to do a little bit of travelling. So hopefully get out and about on the west coast of Ireland a little bit as well, and obviously bring you guys along. It just so happens that we'll be in Ireland, all being well, over St. Patrick's Day. So there might even be a little bonus St. Patrick's Day Belfast vlog going on. I hear there's green snow on the cards. And then we're back over to Cambridge. And then, what's up for the rest of the year? Well, as we said, what we really love to do is the outdoor lifestyle, the hiking. Last year, we spent a little bit too long in places, which meant we didn't get to spend a lot of time in the mountains. Put those two things together, and we really want 2025 to be mostly about the mountains. Now, obviously, one of the issues with going to the mountains in mainland Europe is they're quite high, and that means that the snow probably won't have melted by early April. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back into Spain. We're actually going to, because we're heading back down south through Europe in April, we won't have to hopefully go at breakneck speed to avoid the cold weather. So we're hoping to spend a little bit of time travelling down through France.
And a few years ago, we briefly got a stop, just an overnight stop in the Loire Valley. So I'm very keen to maybe do a bit of that.
Yep. So we'll do a little bit of a slow roll down through the Loire Valley. Into Spain, we will visit some of the places we've been before, not least I think we'll head back to Girona. But we're probably going to stay a little bit more inland, maybe do a little bit of sort of the lower level mountains, maybe get back to the Picos de Europa. We are going to head across to Portugal again, hopefully.
For the chicken.
For the chicken.
Not just the chicken, but that's a big draw.
I have a date with a pastel de nata that I wasn't able to keep last year because of my stupid mouth and super illness.
I'm glad you said that rather than you had a date with the chicken, because that would just be weird.
It's a whole different type of channel, that is. That's on our Only Chickens account. Yeah, so we're going to basically spend April and May in Spain and Portugal. France, Spain and Portugal. We don't really know exactly where, but what we want to try to avoid this year is just heading to the coastal. We've actually done quite a lot of the coast already, so we're hoping to do a little bit more inland, get a bit more hiking done and things like that. So France, Spain and Portugal.
Will the flingos still be around in April time?
I guess so.
Because I'd quite like to head back there, actually.
Yes, and maybe head up some places like Agogondalas as well. One of the things that we'd like to do at least once in that probably 8-week period is another dog sit. So if you happen to be watching this and you're in Spain or Portugal and you need two reasonably well-behaved humans to come and look after your dogs or cats, then yeah, give us a shout in the comments. But that's the plan for April and May. France, Spain and Portugal, but just places that we haven't been before. And then the mountains. Woo. So I think we're basically just going to get into the mountains. If we do end up in the Picos de Europa, then come along from there into the Spanish Pyrenees, the French Pyrenees, Swiss Alps, the Italian Alps, the Dolomites, and the Slovenian Alps.
That's a lot of mountains. I'm just thinking about all the things that you shoved me up in Norway that terrified me.
I love the mountain. Don't get me wrong, I love the coast as well, but there's just something about being in the mountains, and especially in mainland Europe, you'll plan to do a hike, and you'll be out on that hike, and you'll see 20 other routes that you could do. Days that you don't plan to do a big hike, you just come across other hikes and other sort of things to do. So I am really, really looking forward to spending a big chunk of 2025 in the mountains. Now we think that we probably won't get in there until early June time frame, and we probably will be in the mountains until about mid-September.
Yes, we reckon we've got about 12 weeks of mountains.
Yeah.
We're going to be so skinny by the end of this.
That's the plan. After the Nordic diet, who needs Atkins when you've got the Nordic diet? We're hoping to be up in the mountains, do a lot of hiking, not a lot of partying, and basically be a lot healthier.
That doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
It is, that's what we're talking about, though. So we'll be in the mountains having a party as well. But that's the rough plan. Now, after the mountains, it's a little bit up in the air. And it's up in the air for, I think, one main reason. So another reason why we come back to the UK in November the last couple of years is because our van MOT is due then. Now what we would really love to be able to do is get our van re-MOT'd before we leave the UK in April, albeit we'll lose 6 months worth of MOT, but that would mean that we're not in such a push to bring the van back over in November time frame. We would obviously still fly back and visit friends and family a couple of times, but not bringing the van back would actually open up a whole lot of other opportunities, not least potentially October time frame, getting back down into Greece. Loads of people that we spoke to who are seasoned van travellers in Greece have waxed lyrical about visiting in October and November. Not least that the locals have kind of got the tourism season out of the way. They're a bit more relaxed. It's still quite mild, and of course, just like what we found in April and May, it's a lot quieter as well. After being in the mountains and sort of finishing that in September, if we had to get back to the UK in November, that probably would mean not getting into Greece. So hopefully, we'll be able to get the van re-MOT'd. And sorry, I've just got to show you this here. Hang on a minute. So we're actually at Nicola's mum's house at the moment, and this is her cat, which just on cue, he's not going to do it, but quite often when he's sitting out here, rather than using the cat flap, because actually he's a bit too fat to fit through the cat flap, he does this crazy kind of scratching at the window that actually just looks like he's cleaning the windows. But of course, he's not going to do it. He's just going to sit there looking, and as soon as I put the camera away, really see he'll end up doing it. Back to 2025 plans. Oh, there he goes. Look at that.
We should really let him in.
Hello, Arthur. What do you think about our plans? Can I interest you in my cat god? Hello, Arthur. Hello, darling. And yes, this cat is to scale. He's a big old unit.
7 kilograms.
Goodness me. It's about the size of burritos I eat. And by the way, do not adjust your set if you hear kind of really loud like a tractor going by. That is Arthur's purr. And he's also bashing in against the tripod. Arthur, what are you doing?
Come here.
Oh, never worked with animals or small children or something, isn't it?
There we go. Good boy. Oh.
So hopefully we'll be able to get the van re-MOT'd, meaning that we can stay in mainland Europe and do a bit more exploring. But we're not really putting any sort of additional plans after sort of mid-September, just because we're waiting for that. But the bulk of the year, hopefully, will be spent in the mountains. Now, if you've got any recommendations, obviously we're starting to make plans for the mountains. If you've got any recommendations on hikes to do or places to visit, then leave them in the comments. And similarly, Spain and Portugal, off the beaten track a little bit, let us know in the comments as well. So yeah, there's our rough plans for 2025. As always subject to change. But I think, as I think we mentioned a couple of times in both Sunday's video and this one, while 2024 was amazing in a lot of respects, we now realise that, especially over the last couple of years, the things that really get our heart beating faster and really sort of make us happier and more content. And I think for you...
For me, it's definitely seeing more wildlife. I love seeing my ancient sites and my ruins and things, but I think I need to space them out a bit more because after a while they did become a little bit samey and you lose a bit of the enjoyment, and also realise that you need more variety to actually give you everything that you're sort of looking for.
Yeah. And I think that was the same with me. You know, don't get me wrong, I am not a huge, historic fan, but I enjoy the odd one. But whenever we were just going to village and the castle and the ancient site after ancient site, and then couple that with, of course, the couple of months we spent in Greece where we did a little bit too much holidaying, as we've said that before. Compare that to how we spent both the 2021 season in the Picos de Europa and then obviously 2023 in the Nordics. I think we now realise that I think 2025 needs to be a lot more of an active year.
Yeah, and I certainly noticed that my mental health coming back at the end of last year was nowhere near as good as the year before. I still had an amazing time, but I definitely noticed my anxiety levels hadn't reduced quite as much as they normally would have when we're doing more of the hiking and the outdoor stuff. So just wandering about is really nice. I mean, I just love seeing new things. I could just be driven about day by day, and which I do get done.
She does get done, actually.
But yeah, I think I just need a little bit more, maybe a little bit more exercise-based activities, I think.
And for me, well, actually, there's a little tiny event coming up this year around September time frame.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Someone is coming 50. I know, I don't look a day over 35. But I've always had an issue with my weight. And when we come back from Norway, I was the fittest and healthiest, both mentally and especially physically, than I have been in years. And I really want to try to get back to that level again. I'm starting out at a point now where I'm probably the most unfittest and certainly heaviest I've been in quite a while. So we're kind of starting with a bit of a challenge on my hands. But that's really what I want to do. And for me, there's a couple of things. Yes, the hiking and the running in the mountains especially. But for me, I really want to do a whole lot more photography. When I'm not creative, I noticed that really does have a negative impact on my mental health. While we did visit some fantastic locations last year, not many of them were what I would class as, up my street from a photographic point of view. So it's up to me to find some of those locations and areas in the year ahead. I can't just kind of put it down to, well, we went to see castles and we went to see this. I've got to kind of step up to the plate as well and go places that inspire me.
Yes, and talking of your 50th, what is it that you've put in a request for?
So I'd like to have an afternoon glass of vino talking football with Eric Cantona, followed up by dinner cooked by James Martin.
So never going to happen. So never going to happen.
So I'll probably end up meeting some local shepherd in the mountains of the Dolomites, talking football in random languages, followed by beans on toast in the van.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Although, you see, the thing is, I never got to celebrate my 50th because it was a COVID year. And although I did get to have an animal experience that actually was designed for children, but the guy said he'd do it for me with some friends, during which one of my friends nearly killed an armadillo.
True story, that.
It's a true story, but that's for another day.
Yeah, another day. We shall talk about the almost crushing an armadillo. Well, guys, hopefully the little talky videos now will be a little bit more spread out, and we'll actually be able to kind of get out and about and explore. In fact, I am just about to hop on a bus and head into Cambridge, where I'll hopefully be able to grab some footage for an upcoming vlog showing you the city that we used to call home.
And where I grew up.
Where you grew up, indeed. But for now, we hope you've enjoyed these last two videos, giving you a little bit of an insight into our 2025 plans, obviously looking back at sort of what we enjoyed and maybe what we didn't enjoy so much in 2024. We are looking forward to bringing you along for the ride. This will be entering our third full year of full-time van life.
And I don't know if you've seen, we've put out a request for any questions. We're going to do a Q&A session.
Absolutely, very well reminded. We're going to do a Q&A session at some point in the coming weeks. We already have a handful of questions coming in, so go ahead and ask any questions that you would want. Stick them in the comments or drop us a message, sort of whether that be van related, travel related, personal related. Ask away, and in the next couple of weeks, once we get enough questions come in, we will put together a little bonus midweek video for that. Right. Well, I think that's it. 2025 plans on the go.
I'm ready for another cuppa.
I'm off into Cambridge to carry on filming. Actually, today's the day that Storm Irwin was hitting Ireland. So, of course, over here in Cambridge, where the wind is just kind of about 10 miles an hour, a leaf blew by someone's front door and they all locked themselves in bunkers. So, of course, unlike back in Ireland where they're probably out walking their dogs right now like kites. Right, guys. Well, once again, thanks a lot for following along. And until next time.
Oh, that's a different one. Yeah, I don't think I like that one. Bye.
52 different waves.
Yeah, my hand's got a mind of its own this morning. I'm just going to say goodbye.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.